but he is the leading scorer for Arizona State. It has been an exciting day of hoops across the country. We've had some fantastic finishes like the one we saw Iowa State over Texas Tech in Lubbock. We expect an exciting one tonight here in Tempe. The first of 2 stops in Arizona for Baylor as they get the Wildcats in just a few days. Well, first 5 minutes, what are you looking for?
Looking for Baylor to try to set the tempo. They want to take advantage of the inside play and get defensive stops. Arizona State explosive in this building with transition buckets and threes. Baylor definitely wants to set the tempo early.
5 to shoot. First shot up, wild putback though is good, and on the follow, Josh Ojonwuna. A pretty standard starting 5. Neither of these 2 teams is going to go very deep into their bench. Arizona State will probably see 7, 8 players for them. Similar for Baylor with about 7. Missed layup there for B.J. Freeman. Got a pretty good look on their first offensive possession. No changes from Baylor from their last game. A really impressive win over Cincinnati held the Bearcats to just 48 points, a 20-point victory in Waco. Big question mark for Arizona State tonight. How do they respond after what happened in Lawrence earlier this week? Led at halftime, but really struggled in the second half. Scored just 13 points and ended up losing to the Jayhawks.
You want to visit games like that, look at the tape, but then move on, because the Big 12 does not give you time to feel sorry for yourself. Make the adjustments and get ready to play your next game. Talking with Coach Hurley, he felt like they learned what they needed to take out of that second half against Kansas.
Edgecombe driving, kind of lost it on the way up. Thought there was a foul, but no whistle. Freeman the other direction. Kicks out for Miller. Still looking for their first bucket.
And that's the Arizona State offense. Get the defensive rebound, push the tempo.
So Norchad Omier, not known for his three-point shooting, but can let it fly, missing his first attempt from long range. Mason, no-look pass and a dunk there for Bashir Jihad and his first bucket. And a technical foul issued against Arizona State as Bobby Hurley beside himself.
He is absolutely irate, and I'm kind of with him. This is a great look, little dunk, and he did a chin-up, and the official's not gonna let you get away with that. It's the right call, but man, that's petty. Just 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes into this game.
Bobby Hurley can't believe it. 10th year as the head coach at Arizona State. We talked about the young talent. That's one thing he's done. He's brought talent here to Tempe.
Fire in the desert. Bobby Hurley immediately having an impact on this Sun Devil program, showing up, putting together some teams, tournament appearances, and this has been one of the toughest places to play in the former Pac-12, and I bet it'll be a tough place for a lot of teams to come in and play this season.
I'm going to say it's a positive for Arizona State, the early technical, but the one thing it did, this crowd got into it very quickly when they see their head coach that upset.
Well, the problem Baylor has is it was just simply too easy. They had a missed shot, a rebound, and nobody got back on defense. They want to correct that. Like I said, Arizona State, a completely different team seems to be in this building in terms of transition and playing with tempo.
Offensive rebound, Ojonwuna. And now Nunn. Trying to drive on Adam Miller, 10 to shoot for Baylor. The Duke transfer Roach swings it over for Edgecombe. Great ball movement here, but nowhere to go at the moment. Edgecombe steps sideways, shoots, no good. Another offensive rebound, but it's a whistle against Omier. His first foul. Another thing these teams cannot afford is foul trouble. Omier, one of the best rebounders in the country.
They got him from holding with the off arm, and Omier's telling the officials he felt like he was held on that rebound. But a defensive stop for the Sun Devils.
Year 22 at Baylor for Scott Drew, the national title in 2021. Just Quaintance, who lost it for a moment to Jihad. Working on Omier, trying to go right at him after picking up that first foul. And no whistle there. Roach on the rebound.
Officials letting them play in the post and out front. Little bump and grind, no call.
Arizona State's forced Baylor deep into the shot clock on most possessions so far in this first 4 minutes. Turnover, Omier and Ojonwuna not on the same page. See a couple subs here for Baylor. Robert O'Wright III, their second leading scorer, enters the game as Scott Drew talks with Omier. Also going to see another top 100 recruit, Jason Asamoah for Baylor, who has kind of stepped into one of those reserve roles with Langston Love and Jalen Celestine remaining out for the Bears. For game time decisions tonight, but obviously haven't seen them yet and don't expect to. Tough shot for Mason, might have been tipped. Here comes Baylor quickly the other way. Asamoah short on the three. Freeman got himself into trouble. Jihad swings it for Mason. That rims off. Quaintance offensive rebound. Too strong. Five minutes in, 4 points scored.
Well, even though the game just started, you get the feeling that every possession matters. The crowd reacting to every loose ball and deflection. Arizona State, we talked about the tempo. How they start this game is going to be huge. There you see them doubling the post.
Quick swing right, hits the triple.
Solid offense right there from the Bears. They get the inside touch, get it right back out for the wide open three.
Wright has been so good. Freshman from Wilmington, Delaware, went to Montverde Academy on that undefeated team that's always loaded. Great defense there from Edgecombe. That's something Scott Drew talked to us about. He said Edgecombe has a chance to be an all-conference defender. Wow, what a shot from Freeman with Roach's hand on his nose.
Freeman is capable of stringing together multiple jumpers. He's gotten hot in games before. That's a tough shot, but able to knock it down.
Freeman is who entered the starting lineup for Josan Sannon, who's come off the bench since that point this season. We'll see Sannon at the next timeout. Skip pass, whistle off the ball. Gonna get a foul on Adam Miller. 5-5 early.
Arizona State Sun Devils trying to create a little fire in the desert from downtown. Freeman, we're all tied at 5. Trips up and down to get warm. If you look at those numbers, he's more than coming off the bench. A new experience for this superstar freshman.
6'5". He's from Fall River, Massachusetts, and he is a stud, projected top 5, top 10 pick in the NBA. Here's Sannon, first look, good.
You couldn't have asked for a better sequence for the Sun Devils. They get the turnover and the transition bucket.
Does Edgecombe have the answer? What a take by Edgecombe. Count the bucket.
And Chucky, it's plays like this that keep NBA scouts so excited. The body control in traffic, presence of mind to get it off the glass. That degree of difficulty is insane, and that's a freshman. Super athletic, but at the other end, Sannon checks in, clocks in, punches in, easy deuce for him. Some super freshmen out here on the court tonight.
Those guys, good chance to be playing against each other next year in the league. Baylor up 1. Alston Mason, the point guard, transfer from Missouri State, started his career at Oklahoma, and that's a sloppy turnover there. Sean Phillips not connecting with B.J. Freeman. The good news is Phillips also playing tonight. He's been dealing with a little bit of an ankle injury, but just more depth for Arizona State.
And he's another impact player. His ability to get after shots, offensive rebounds.
And left Edgecombe wide open and got away with it, but he followed his shot and now finds himself all alone and hits the triple.
Tremendous individual effort right there by Edgecombe. Instincts, old school. A lot of players don't follow their shot.
How much Sandin and Edgecombe looking at each other right now, knowing the hype that surrounds them both, how much factors into what they want to do as Freeman hits another one?
Well, I think both players are just focused on contributing to the team. They've got great coaches and they're part of solid programs, so it's no need to play hero ball. Just do what you need to do to win. Right now, Freeman connected for the Sun Devils.
Good sign for them early. He's got 6 points. O'Meara kind of forced that one. Chance for Arizona State to regain the lead. Well, heat check, offensive rebound, Quaintance, and ripped away by Edgecombe.
Clayton's had a great opportunity to score there.
Contact inside, it's a charge.
Chucky, you got back-to-back freshman mistakes. Quaintance does a great job getting the offensive rebound. He brings it down. Edgecombe doesn't know when to slam on the brakes, turns it over.
1 point game. Baylor leading in the... One of the best parts about this Baylor team this year is just the balanced scoring. 5 players averaging over 10 points per game, and really, there's plenty to go around, and they're pretty good about knowing, hey, when it's my time, when it's your time.
Yeah, it is so difficult to line up against a team that has multiple guys in double figures. What that tells you is they share the ball. There's no hero ball. Everybody's working together. But defensively, it's easy because you just got to guard everybody. There's nobody you got to focus on. Focus on everyone.
Bears looking for a stop out of the break. Sandin hit his first shot attempt. Hasn't taken another one since then. That's going to be a turnover. Mason trying to force that inside to Phillips.
And I like what they did out of the timeout. Bears come down, little 2-3 matchup zone. Forced the turnover. Sun Devils didn't adjust well to that new look.
Phillips' second year at Arizona State after starting his career at LSU. Nunn steps back. Have to play him so tight. He shot the 3 exceptionally well this year. Right block, but a whistle. I think they're going to get Sean Phillips on the foul. Free throws coming up for Wright. Second on the team in scoring, leads them in assists, almost 5 per game. With both of these teams, when you look at the freshman production, there is such an emphasis on winning right now because you have to make the NCAA tournament and get to where these teams want to go. But the ceiling is so much higher than where these two teams are at right now, you would think, with that young talent.
Yeah, young talent, but there's always a learning curve, especially when you get to conference play. Conference play is a little bit more physical. Teams kind of know each other, so when you have younger players, it might take a few weeks for them to be like, oh, wow, this is different, because you had your non-conference and now you're a couple weeks into conference. So you give them the time, you give them the opportunities to shine, and, you know, usually you want to be playing your best basketball towards the end of February anyway.
Baylor's full court pressure trying to give them trouble. There was a whistle first, though, and I think they're going to say Sandin stepped out of bounds.
Critical error right there by the Sun Devils. You enter the ball to the corner, and now you've got a difficult situation. The freshman trying to handle that pressure. Look at the arms, the deflection. His foot right there, stepped out of bounds.
Turnovers have been a concern for Arizona State. It was a big problem in the second half against Kansas. 12 of their 18 turnovers came in the second half. This is their worst rank in turnover percentage, according to KenPom, since Bobby Hurley took over. Wright flips it up quickly and banks it in.
Wright is just so quick with the ball in his hand. You just get the feeling watching him play, he can go to the rack anytime he wants.
Miller.
They've got the mismatch with Phillips Jr. in the paint if they can get it to him.
Mason steps back, working on Roach right now. 3 to shoot, inside contact, and 2 free throws coming up for Alston Mason. First foul on Roach. 3rd team foul against Baylor. Alston Mason, one of the best free throw shooters for Arizona State, just under 85%. Has also continued to improve his three-point shooting. From Belgium. You like playing in Belgium, didn't you?
I played basketball over there with his father.
Okay.
Not to date myself, but yeah. Remember when he and his brother both born there? Sensational player. And his value is really what that last play was. End of possession, shot clock winding down. He has the ability to create some things for Arizona State.
Favorite place you played overseas?
Geneva, Switzerland.
Okay.
It was too expensive. It was beautiful, but expensive.
Okay. Roach curling off a screen and a reach called against Arizona State. Adam Miller whistled for the foul. You mentioned earlier conference play and that difference in that. You covered the Pac-12, you played in the Pac-12. What have you noticed about the Big 12 as you started to cover this league?
It's a little bit of a looser whistle in the Big 12. Not everything is whistled. If you don't gain an advantage defensively, they're not going to call it, which means, hey, play through it, a little bit more physical.
Jihad. And now Miller. Ali, deep three. Pulled down by Ojanwuna.
Last few possessions for the Bears have been pretty solid. They've gotten in the line, they've gotten in the paint.
Offensive foul against Omir. That's his second with 9:20 to play in the first half.
And that is huge because you talk about how valuable he is right here. The first bump is free, but the second one, heads up defensive play, possibly a little acting on that call, but nonetheless, he picks up the charge. And for Omir to get 2 fouls on the offensive end of the court, that's what you don't expect. You're big to pick up fouls in the natural play of the game on the defensive side. That's one thing, but both his fouls coming offensively.
Sannon lulling the defender to sleep, misses. Edgecombe tips it out for Wright. Omir, a guy too, he doesn't have a lot of off nights. He's got 8 double-doubles this year. He's scored over 15 points 10 times. He's the active leader in rebounds, double-doubles, rebounds per game. Always makes an impact on the game, and he's going to have to sit on the bench for an extended period of time. Wright in trouble, kicks corner. Edgecombe, another three.
The patience and the maturity of the freshman.
Edgecombe already with 9. Wright has 7. Sannon's turn. Got a matchup he liked here with Ojanwuna. Poked away from Ali. Here comes Edgecombe. Ojanwuna with him. Edgecombe with the left hand just gliding through the air, and a timeout taken by Arizona State.
Baylor feasting off the turnovers.
Arizona State in a little trouble here. Edgecombe having a night so far with 11. Tonight, BJ Edgecombe, the fantastic freshman, showing out.
The composure, the body control, the skill is on display from the perimeter as well as taking it to the rack. You can see why scouts are here tonight. This young man is a handful on the offensive end. You see the numbers right there. Both freshmen doing pretty well.
18 of Baylor's 20 have come from the freshmen. The rest of the team just 1 for 7 from the field so far. 9 points off turnovers for Baylor early on. It continues to be an issue for Arizona State, something they have got to get figured out as they set off into this conference schedule. Ali inside is fouled. 2 free throws coming for him.
Ali looked like he might have gotten away with a shuffle of the feet there. Baylor doing a great job of mixing up the defensive looks, man and zone.
Asamoah, the freshman, called for the foul. Arizona State picked 12th in the Big 12 preseason poll, their first year in the conference. I think it's safe to say preseason polls mean less than ever now because of all the movement on rosters. You just never know what anyone's going to look like.
Well, you're being very polite. They mean absolutely nothing. You know, people get together and try to pick who's going to do what. And I believe the Arizona Sun Devils won the conference in football, and they were picked
last.
Okay. So, yeah, those prognosticators might want to just give it a rest.
Asamoah, was a nice move, but couldn't finish it off. Will stay at this end to the dismay of the Sun Devils faithful. And here's the preseason poll. Still 4 teams off that. Now 16 in the Big 12. Baylor picked 4th behind Kansas, Houston, Iowa State. Top half of this conference is deadly.
What's hilarious about that is all coaches are trying to keep their guys from paying attention to that. If you're picked high, it doesn't matter. If we're picked low, it doesn't matter. Still got to go out and play the games.
Yeah, Arizona State football was a 4th and 13 stop away from playing last night against Ohio State.
A lot of people across the country wanted to see that team have success.
Quainton's mid-range is off. He still hasn't scored in this one. He's been active on the glass with 4 rebounds, but hasn't found his way onto the score sheet. Backdoor pass, tipped out of play. Mason back in for Ali. We're also going to see Norchad Omier come back in for Baylor. And let's see if Arizona State attacks him at all. 2 fouls in the game already with 7 to play in the first half.
Omier, 5th-year senior. You talked about experience. He knows how to play without picking up that crucial 3rd foul. Obviously, coach trusts him out there.
Another travel, and Baylor with their 7th turnover in this first half.
Chucky, you just wonder if Arizona State's going to be able to take advantage of these empty possessions. They haven't made a 3 in quite a while, and this crowd's still engaged, but Sun Devil offense been kind of stagnant the last few possessions.
Even in the first half against Kansas, Arizona State played really well. They got to halftime up 6, but you just felt like they probably should have been up 12 or 15 points in that one and didn't have enough to try and hold off the Jayhawks in that second half. Many don't at Allen Fieldhouse. Whistle away from the ball.
Now you have to play a full 40 minutes at Allen Fieldhouse. That energy, that atmosphere, hard to go in there and steal a win.
You ever make that trip when you were at Arizona?
No, we did play Kansas my senior year in the tournament, and that was my final game of my collegiate career. They beat us in the Sweet 16, but never made the trip.
Omier going to the hoop against Quainton. He's one of the best shot blockers in the country and goes on the reverse layup and gets it to go. 9-point lead.
The Bears doing a great job of settling in this environment, sticking to the script, getting back to inside buckets.
Somebody's got to hit a shot for Arizona State. Haven't had a field goal in over 6.5 minutes. Where is the answer right now? Jihad skips it across. Mason gets himself an open look and hits it. Desperately needed that triple to go.
And that's just what the doctor ordered. Arizona State, kind of a team that catches fire from moment to moment. And here comes this crowd wanting a defensive stop.
Wright working with Ojanwuna. Wright scoops it up, rolls off. Edgecombe couldn't put it back, and somehow Wright almost had it. Now Freeman the other way. Working with Miller. Freeman attacking and laying it in. By 4, crowd on their feet. None to silence them.
That's the mark of a good team right there. You stay with your offense, play with confidence. Baylor putting an end to that little 5-0 run.
Freeman short, back to Nunn on the move. Shooting almost 50% from 3 this season. Jaden Nunn has been tremendous. Omier gets it to go.
2 fouls, he does not care. Still being aggressive in the paint. He knows his job. He knows what he needs to do. Unfazed. And talk about trust between a coach and his player. Putting him back in with those 2 fouls. He's still going to work.
Freeman off the mark that time. Ojanwuna and Quaintance tangled up a little bit underneath. Omier. That was tipped. And it'll stay at this end with 2.7 on the shot clock. But we've got a timeout. Arizona State down 9. It's a matchup to watch.
Well, when you're 6'7", going up against 6'9", with a wingspan of Shaquille O'Neal, you got to be crafty. You got to have some footwork. And he knows how to use his body in those tight spaces. Very effective big man for the Bears.
Quaintance, one of the nation's leading shot blockers, does not have one tonight. Norchad Omier's numbers, active players in the country, double-doubles and rebounds, both first and adding to them. Baylor got to get a quick shot off. Roach, tough 3, rims off.
Very important final 3.5 minutes of this half. If you're Baylor, you got a chance to kind of blow this game wide open with a double-digit lead going in at half. If you're Arizona State, you want to tighten this up, have the momentum in your favor.
Miller inside, off balance, whistle, and 2 free throws.
You can see Arizona State's intent. One-on-one plays, draw the fouls, create that offense at the free throw line. They really apply a lot of pressure one-on-one. Guys constantly trying to drive the lane.
Edgecombe, Omier, and Asamoah all with 2 fouls for Baylor. Mentioned Langston Love and Jalen Celestine remain out for the Bears. They basically had an 8-man rotation. They lost 2 of those guys, and that guy right there who's limping on the sideline with 2 fouls, Asamoah, is the one who has come into the fold to give them a 7-man rotation essentially now.
It's so hard to be competitive when you've got injuries and you're nicked up. Guys that aren't able to go. And you'd love to say that it's next man up, but sometimes that's just not the case, depending on the position.
Well, maybe now hard as ever, especially if you're a young player, because you're going out there playing against 21, 22, 23-year-old. I mean, the whole country's old because of the transfer portal.
Yeah, we're just getting rid of all those COVID year guys.
I think you've got another year if you want to go for it. I think you got some teams that would take you back.
Yep, I might. You never know. Do some research. I saw Coach Drew this morning. I said, I got 5 fouls, maybe 2-3 trips down the floor, and that's it for me.
I'm impressed. Edgecombe for Wright.
Very impressed with the patience of the Bears offensively, not forcing anything.
What a take from Wright, again around the shot blocker.
And he knows that was a nice move, smiling from ear to ear after that bucket. Beautiful one-on-one play.
Wright's got 9, Edgecombe has 11. Still Sannon with just 2 points, and they came basically on his first touch. Big mismatch here. Phillips against Roach, and Roach picked his pocket. And now Roach on the attack. It's sent by Quaintance. That's more like it. That's what the Sun Devils fans have seen all season long from him.
Well, Roach might have gotten fouled on this. You're going to see the hand get whacked right there, but the big-time rejection by Quaintance. Great timing by the big man, and as he develops, he'll learn how to keep that ball in play so you can run with it.
Edgecombe wide open and rims off. Arizona State got away with one there. 2 minutes to play in the first half, and it just feels like the Sun Devils have to get something. Quaintance wants it inside. They go up to him. Big mismatch. Blocked from behind. And then there is a whistle. And if this is on Roach, that'll be 2 on him. Let's see if they got Nunn or Roach here.
Well, they finally get the high-low, and Quaintance just can't connect. Can't bring the ball down around there with the little crumb snatchers. You got to keep it up high, get it off the glass.
And actually, I made a mistake. Nunn was off to the side. It was Robert Wright who that foul is going to go against. That's just his first. That hit everything and just would not fall for Quaintance. So far, the Baylor freshmen have won this battle tonight. Quaintance gets the second one, averages 9.5 points, 8.5 rebounds. He leads them in steals and blocks.
Sun Devils just 3 of 10 from downtown. Missed 3 free throws as well. They want to clean that up.
Edgecombe leans in, got the whistle. Quaintance sent it, but free throws first and a big smile from Edgecombe.
I need to see a birth certificate on Edgecombe because that's old school. The pump fake on the big fella gets him in the air. I said it earlier, we talked about his maturity. He just has great instincts. He doesn't try to do things outside of his skill set, but right there, that's just a smart basketball play.
He knew it too. Double figures in 11 of 14 games in his career. Already 12 tonight. He's been efficient. There's some big-time scouts in the building. Missed the second free throw. Have not seen an offensive burst from Arizona State. Again, another big drought. Over 3.5 minutes without a field goal. Just 2 of their last 10 from the field. Freeman drug his foot. Turnover.
And the Sun Devils relying a little too much on the one-on-one. They got to let the ball do the work. Too much dribbling, and that's kind of playing into the strong hand of Baylor in terms of what they do defensively.
It's $1 million question, but as far as the turnover issue for Arizona State, what can you do to help alleviate that? Is there anything, or is it just...
You still focus on moving the ball. I think a lot of their turnovers come out of one-on-one situations where guys try to do just a little too much. You don't have to dribble into crowds. You don't have to make risky passes. Just make the basketball play.
So John Winnell with a nice physical finish off the offensive rebound.
And you're seeing the Bears start to pour it on in the paint.
Well, John Winnell's really come on lately. 4.6 rebounds tonight. Sannon fading away. Can't get the roll.
Big possession here for Baylor. They want to continue to add to this lead before half.
Roach blocked by Freeman. Plenty of time on the shot clock, under 30 seconds to play in the first half. Edgecombe with it, 5 to shoot, getting downhill. Quaintance pins it on the glass. Mason going quickly. 10 seconds left in the first half.
They've got the mismatch out front. They're gonna let Mason dance on them.
Quaintance 3, rims off and the tip no good. A 12-point Baylor lead on the road at Arizona State. He did get 2, but has not had the impact on the game that Arizona State needs him to have.
And what he does is, when your guards penetrate, he's a finisher. And Arizona State needs to penetrate the ball and find him on the block. He's great at offensive rebounds and putbacks, but they've got no downhill action.
Here's Quaintance trying to go inside, and he might have jammed his finger or something. It was awkward on the pass. Not what you wanted out of the break is a turnover. So John Wuna on Miller, flicks it out for Nunn. Roach inside, blocked from behind by Freeman. Omier offensive rebound and the putback.
But Omier so tough in the paint. That wide body just does a great job of finding the ball.
Baylor pushing that lead to 14, their largest of the game. Jihad against Roach. Good matchup for Arizona State. They haven't capitalized on these much, though, in the game. That's stripped away. Picked back up by Jihad. Nothing doing. Foul against Miller for Arizona State. It's a little flat offensively coming out of halftime.
Yeah, a couple of empty possessions for the Sun Devils, and they got to get it together soon because Baylor is the type of team, they feed off of those miscues and get out and run. Every possession important for Arizona State here in the second half.
John Wuna has Miller on him in the post. They go to him. Here comes a quick double. Omier against Quaintance. Good matchup. Omier around him and got stripped. It stays at this end. Seven to shoot on the inbound underneath. That goes off of John Wuna. Roach and Edgecombe not on the same page there. I think that was ever going to get to Edgecombe, though. He hit Ojanwuna with it. Arizona State's largest scoring run in this game is just 5 points. Not seen them at any point really get into a rhythm offensively. Miller's three, they're hoping will change that.
And they need to start pairing up those opportunities with defensive stops. They want to chip away at this lead and get back in the game.
Adam Miller, a very good three-point shooter, over 45% on the season. That was his 27th of the year. First field goal of the night. Inside, Omier against the freshman Quaintance. Got him in the air and finishes over the top.
Well, he does such a great job of negating the size advantage by getting into the chest of the defender. Doesn't matter how tall you are if you're being moved backwards.
Freeman against Omier. Got it to go, and one chance. That is foul number 3 on Omier.
Freeman aggressive from the tip-off. It's been a while since we heard from him, but right here, a nice little curl move, and once he gets the defender on his hip, he does a great job of diving right back in. Omier gets him on the arm, transferred 3 the hard way.
These are the moments in the game in the first half when they got some of those foul trouble, maybe hit a bucket. You feel like, okay, this is the time for Arizona State, but haven't been able to capitalize.
Well, it's completely a momentum game. Can you put together 3 or 4 plays in a row to change a game? And Arizona State hasn't been able to do that. Other than a couple of back-to-back buckets, we haven't seen consecutive stops on the defensive end.
Roach working with Ojanwuna. Right, 4 to shoot, trapped inside. Nunn had his 3 tipped, and it goes right to Quaintance. And now the Sun Devils trying to push the tempo like you talked about. Freeman inside, he is fouled. They're getting to the free throw line early in the second half.
Impressive defensive stand right there by the Sun Devils. Baylor played late into the possession. They were able to get a block shot and a rebound.
Freeman leads Arizona State with 11 points, misses the first free throw. They've not been a great free throw shooting team on the season, under 72% as a group, 10th in the Big 12. One for 2 at the strike. Back to single digits.
Right now you see the full court press, and they get the turnover.
Freeman again. And here is a little life from Arizona State. Keeping the pressure on.
Edgecombe, the one-man press break right there, just brings it up himself.
Roach inside, over Quaintance, a whistle first though against the freshman. That'll take us to our first media timeout.
The Arizona State Sun Devils trying to apply a little pressure, make a run here in Tempe. Baylor by 7.
Freeman 14 points. He had 8 in the first half. Already has 6 here in the second half. He's been a big spark. You talk tempo. Arizona State, we're seeing some of that, pressing the tempo. On the flip side, Baylor's been so deliberate in their approach really all night, maybe in part because they are so shorthanded.
Yeah, they're shorthanded. They're okay with a reduced tempo. And to be honest, in league play, if you're up 10 on the road, you just want to grind it out and get the win. Right now, only a 7-point advantage, but the Bears in no hurry to do anything as their offense has been pretty steady.
Freeman over 13 points per game in the last 3. We'll see if his friends can get going as well. Corner 3, big answer there from Edgecombe.
Mr. Consistency, the one guy you can't leave on the scouting report. Edgecombe makes him pay. Baylor in the zone, they force the turnover.
Ojanwuna with a punch. He was fighting off Quaintance and takes it the distance.
Sun Devils just not focused in their execution. Sloppy pass, great anticipation by the Bears.
Ojanwuna in the first 8 games of the season averaged 5.5 points. Over the last 6, over 11 points per game. He has improved so much as the year's gone on. There's another board for him. The referee helped keep that in play, and Bobby Hurley really upset about that. Roach 3, hits it.
Great back-to-back plays for Baylor. The 3 in the corner, the steal with the breakaway dunk, and now another 3 as they're trying to crack this game wide open.
That was one of those cases where the ball probably did lie on that possession, I would say.
Consistency for Baylor right there. The anticipation leads to the run-out dunk. And then the assist, the great court vision, the knockdown 3, and the Bears are rolling right now. This crowd a little bit stunned as just a few moments ago it was a 7-point game.
Baylor replacing 4 starters this year. Mason's 3 is no good. Josh Ojanwuna, who was a big part of the team last year, is filling massive shoes. Eve Misi, who was the 21st pick in the NBA draft, he's got a chance to be the Rookie of the Year in the NBA. And Ojanwuna is starting to kind of come along in that impact role as a post player. Nisi was just such a great rim runner. Right inside. Ripped away, loose ball, rebound. Asamoah, he has it taken away by Mason. Here comes Quaintance, out for Freeman, who flushes it with two hands.
Well, that's some great coordination by the big fella right there to grab the ball and make the pass to Freeman. A little life here for the Sun Devils. It's going to be an uphill battle with plenty of time left in this game.
Baylor 0-3 on the road this season. 30-15 on the road in Big 12 games since 2019. That's the best in the league. Edgecombe feeds to Asamoah from his backside. Now here comes Arizona State after the miss. Sannon for three. Got it! Attack a home court, as you said earlier.
And Chucky, in a game like this, the way the Sun Devils can score, 10 points is nothing. And I know that's what Coach Scott Drew just got through telling his guys. Hey, we've got to take care of the ball. We're on the road. Don't let the crowd get into the game. Don't let guys get confident. There are players from Arizona State that we really haven't heard from offensively yet. They've still got a lot of firepower.
Omier back out there for Baylor with 3 fouls. A rare break for Ojonwunan. Here is Omier immediately getting a touch against Quaintance. Quaintance comes down on it, and a whistle. Foul against Quaintance.
And there you see Coach Scott Drew drawing up a play for his go-to guy, his 5th-year player who knows exactly what to do in these situations. You come out of a timeout, get it to the horse, and he gets to the free throw line.
3rd foul on Quaintance. Now him and Omier both playing with 3 now. Omier's in his 5th year of college basketball, his 3rd school. He's been dominant everywhere. Started his career at Arkansas State, then to Miami the last 2 seasons. Wrapping up a fantastic college career in Waco, Texas at Baylor.
And he's got some of the best footwork I've seen out of a big man this season. Baylor switching everything. They don't care about the mismatches because they play team defense. They front the post, and everybody helps out.
Freeman's 3, short. Offensive rebound, Mason. Clock reset to 20 seconds, and a foul against Asamoah. That's going to be his 3rd foul. Mason had 19 points at Kansas, but 6 turnovers. That was 6 of their 18 total turnovers, played all 40 minutes. They got to find something as far as depth. Sannon coming back obviously helps with that. Man, Alston Mason playing 40 minutes in the Big 12 every night that's going to be a tough task.
That's a tall order, and you make a great point. Both teams essentially 7 deep tonight, and now we're at the almost 30-minute mark of basketball. The question is, will fatigue set in, and if so, for who? Will it be Baylor, or will the Sun Devils tire out?
Baylor still by 10, just ticked under 12 minutes to play. And they have been in no rush in the half-court offense. Into Omier against Freeman. They love this matchup. Quaintance comes to help. Omier turning, they're wanting a 3-second call. They finally got it. A Baylor turnover, 11:40 to play in Tempe, and still the Bears by double digits. Baylor up 10, 11:40 to play in Tempe. First meeting between these two teams as Big 12 foes. Of course, another member of the Drew family out here in the Phoenix area, Bryce Drew, the Grand Canyon head coach. That is a tremendous program, and that's also a great family coaching tree. The Drews, their dad Homer, the legendary coach at Valparaiso. Baylor will actually practice at Grand Canyon tomorrow. They're going to hit up a Suns game while they're out here as well. A nice little team bonding opportunity in the middle of the season.
You talk about a great basketball family, coaching literally in the blood.
Same goes on the other side. Bobby Hurley, Danny Hurley, and their dad, Bob Sr., who's a legendary high school coach.
Oh, look at the pressure Baylor's putting on the ball.
Shannon short. Quaintance on the offensive glass. That lead is trimmed to 8.
You hear the crowd starting to come alive. They want to see another defensive stop for the Sun Devils. And if you're the Bears, you want to take your time, get a good look.
Is it Edgecombe? He silenced them on numerous occasions. Almost throws that out. Saved by Wright. None. 3. Off the mark. Mason rebounds. Here comes Arizona State. Miller. The confident stroke from Adam Miller.
And Chucky, they'll live with that shot because that's what they do. If Miller gets a good look, you know he has the green light to shoot that.
2 top 4 three-point shooting teams in the conference as Omier is fouled by Freeman underneath. You're talking about basketball royalty, really, with the Drew family and the Hurley family. There's Bob on the left, a Basketball Hall of Fame inductee in 2010. Homer, 2019 College Basketball Hall of Famer for his time at Valparaiso. There was never a chance these guys weren't going to be head coaches and successful head coaches at that, as well as their brothers, as I mentioned.
You know, some men look at that and say, okay, you know, you're in someone's shadow, you're in dad's shadow, but actually, you know, the relationship, that's a tremendous resource for young coaches to step in, and no one's asking you to be your dad right off the bat, but man, that's a great phone call to make when you run up against something or you need a few answers. You have Hall of Fame fathers in there that you can call on.
And to your point, all of them, the brothers have paved their own paths and had a lot of success at their respected spots. Arizona State, 2 seconds to get this across midcourt, and they do. Mason, no-look feed. Phillips inside over Ojanwuna. Ojanwuna has the rebound after a nice defensive play on Phillips. Roach steps into it. Ojanwuna on the offensive glass again.
You see the physicality of the Bears. Fighting for every loose ball. Offensive glass right there, huge play.
8 points, 11 rebounds for Josh Ojanwuna.
That's what you want out of your teams on the road. You want them to answer and respond.
Mason with a response.
Right now, Baylor able to answer every Arizona State run with a bucket. They haven't turned the ball over a great deal. They haven't been sped up. Very steady offensively.
Right inside, trying to go around Phillips. Ojanwuna lost it. Omier pulls it down and just fires it up. That's why Phillips is in there, to provide that size. Mason grabbed by Ojanwuna. That's the 15th foul against Baylor. Just the first on the big man. Arizona State has gotten it done a little bit with that tempo, but they still aren't shooting it great. Just 5 of 17 from long range.
You know, with the Sun Devils, it's just a matter of a flick of a wrist. This crowd ready for a run. Can the Sun Devils deliver?
A little confusion here. The referees are going to come together and they overturned this. Originally it stayed with Arizona State, but our officiating crew, Randy McCall, Antonio Petty, and Brett Smith, coming together to get that one right. I don't think Bobby Hurley loves that.
They thought there might have been a deflection, but there was not. Ball just sailed out of bounds. Roach,
too strong. Offensive rebound, Omier traveled.
And Omier has had a monster night in the paint. Offensive rebounds, one-on-one moves right there. Comes up with the ball, surrounded by black jerseys. Unable to keep his footing, but he's really been putting in work. Hasn't been slowed down by any of the fouls.
Freeman has been the guy all night for Arizona State, and he's going back to the free throw line.
Good opportunity right here for the Sun Devils to put a couple of points on the board with the clock stopped and set up some pressure. That's their 6th foul of the half. They'll be shooting here everything pretty shortly.
That's the 4th on Asamoah. Freeman hits the first free throw. Nunn replaces Asamoah. He finished up his high school career at Hillcrest Prep right here in Phoenix. There's Freeman's number, 17 on the night. To lead all scorers, make it 18. That's a season high for him. This crowd wants to get in it. They want a big run.
They've been chomping at the bit all night.
Every time they've gotten on their feet, it's been Baylor and a lot of times VJ Edgecombe. That time it's Omier from VJ Edgecombe.
What a big shot from Omier. Dead away, 3 from the big man. You're not guarding it because you don't think it's going to come, and he drills it.
Just his 7th long distance make of the season. He shoots under 25% from there. Quainton spinning inside with the answer.
Beautiful move right there by Quaintance. The Bears are switching everything, and that's the first time Arizona State has reacted and got a good look.
Bobby Hurley waving at the crowd to get on their feet. Up top for Omier. 4 to shoot. Omier had it stripped away into the corner, and it stays here, but just 0.4 on the shot clock. And that'll take us to a 4 on the clock. They made an adjustment to 1.1. Omier can't get it to go. Tipped up by Freeman and poked out of bounds. It'll belong to Arizona State.
6:48 remaining. You can feel the momentum in this building. Some fans standing up, student section, ready to see a run. Can the Sun Devils deliver after getting a stop?
Miller against Nunn. For Jihad, has a matchup here with Nunn. Big mismatch size-wise. Miller, open 3. Got it!
The one player on the floor that you cannot leave. And Omier leads him in the corner and gives the Sun Devils exactly what they needed.
The closest they've been in the second half. Omier 3. Got it! He's hit 2 tonight after coming in with just 6 makes.
Well, the first one's free, but the second one, you gotta rotate over to him. Big time shot for the Bears.
Baylor 44% from long range tonight. They've hit 8 threes. Blocking foul called, and again, Edgecombe tried to sell that one just a little bit.
Right here, you're gonna see Omier try to be a good teammate. He's gonna come over to help out, but you leave Miller in the corner, 3-ball, corner pocket. Sun Devils are rolling, and to make up for that defensive error, Omier says, you know what? Bottoms, quiets the crowd, he's feeling it. Several big plays from him tonight. Baylor always answering. You like that mental toughness from your team to bounce back and make the plays they need to make when it matters the most.
This is where Arizona State can make a real dent in this Baylor lead. They'll be in the bonus the rest of the way. That was the 7th team foul against the Bears. He had a 75% free throw shooter. Gets the first one to roll in.
And really, the game does change a lot when you enter that bonus. The way you play defense, you're very mindful of those things, but Baylor has to find a way to ignore that. They've done a great job. Just 48 points tonight so far for Arizona State. No reason to let up defensively over the final 5 minutes of this game.
7-point lead. Edgecombe directing traffic as they break the pressure.
If you're the Baylor Bears, you want to remain loose, stay in attack mode.
Roach, little hesitation there. Back outside, 4 to shoot, right, driving, floating. Can't hit, poked out, Jihad couldn't haul it in.
Huge play by Omier again with the offensive rebound. They get to burn more clock, 10 to shoot.
Again, 3 to shoot, Edgecombe, step back. And they got away with that one. Ojanwuna, offensive board, and an and one chance for the big man. He has been a force tonight. 10 points, 14 boards.
How tough have the Baylor Bears been in the paint tonight? Big time offensive rebound and put back. Too early to call it a dagger, but man, is that a huge emotional lift for Baylor. Late in the possession, they get multiple chances and end up getting a putback. Now they'll go into their 1-3-1 zone. See if the Sun Devils can work to get a good shot.
Jihad, nice little mid-range jumper to cut it to 7.
The Bears have come through with play after play down the stretch, be it threes, putbacks. Working late into the possession.
Roach, him and Freeman got tangled up earlier in the possession, almost stripped. Edgecombe, no chance on that shot. And a good defensive possession for the Sun Devils. 3:47 for Arizona State to make their push. And you don't often see when you're playing in a conference like the Big 12. Arizona State, 3:45 to go in this game. What is your focus to cut this deficit?
Well, the focus is that free throws count too. It doesn't have to be a 3. You just be strong with the ball. Try to get to the free throw line if you can. They got a good look right there, but weren't able to knock it down. Sometimes you fall in love with that 3-point shot, but you still got a lot of time. Just keep cutting away at that lead.
That was Ojanwuna contesting Adam Miller's 3-point attempt, bothering the great shooter.
Sun Devils can play a little risky on D, just 5 fouls. Baylor has to stay aggressive.
Almost taken from the freshman. Right, almost came over the table there. You had me, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. 3-possession game, a little over 3 minutes.
Freeman tangled up with Roach. Those two have been going at it a little bit. Freeman upset about it. Jeremy Roach for Baylor playing in his 143rd career game.
And you can tell by how smart that play was. Roach knew to go up through the arms of the defender to draw that foul. That's an experienced play.
You know how many you played in your careers? Roach lines up a 3 and misses. You know how many you played in your career?
I have no idea.
109. I looked it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how many did I play well in?
108. It's your first game.
First game.
I'm guessing completely. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're probably right. You're probably right. Baylor doing a good job getting back defensively. We talked about fatigue, but you see the white shirts sprinting back on defense. They're still switching everything. keeping the pressure on.
Oh, man, Ojanwuna deletes that shot.
We talked about his impact on the game. Effort plays, energy plays.
Mason going baseline against the big man. Good defense, offensive rebound. Jihad going to the free throw line.
Mason taking it in there against the big guy. He might have drawn the foul, but he didn't. But Jihad will get to the line. Baylor been stuck on 57 for a few minutes now.
Over a 2-minute scoring drought, the lead down to 6. Haven't had it within 5 in the second half. Two teams that combine for about 157 a night, and this one being played in the 50s right now. The lead back to 5, and here comes the crowd in Tempe.
The freshman Edgecombe been awfully quiet here in the second half. Wondering if he'll make a play.
Taken away, Mason for Freeman, and lays it in! Count the bucket!
On the list of things not to do in crunch time is turn it over and then make transition fouls. There's the finish. And we got a brand new game here in Tempe.
The ASU chants rolling through Desert Financial Arena. And take a look at something at the monitor here. Both coaches a chance to talk to their teams. Freeman will have a chance to make this a 2-point game and add to a season-high 20. Can the crowd be the difference in a game like this? You just never know, too. It's early in the season, but you have to say this is one of those games, either way it goes, you just never know the impact it could have when you're looking for a bid in March.
I tell you like this, a game like this is going to propel you either way. If Baylor somehow lets this game slip away, they're going to have some soul searching to do, as that'd be their 4th road loss. And Arizona State, a gutsy come from behind win would mean the world to them. It'll be great to see how this plays out.
Freeman can't finish the 3-point play. Omier has the rebound. 2:20 to play, long pass tracked down by Nunn.
Baylor has to do more than just play keep away. They've got to get the ball into scoring position. With Omier, he's been their rock in the second half. And now we're at 5 to shoot.
Nunn, 3 to shoot. Nunn fires, and a whistle against Mason will be 3 free throws for Jaden Nunn.
Bobby Hurley has to be careful right now. He does not agree with the call, but Mason did get caught with his hand in the cookie jar. The question is, did he get wrist or did he get ball? But you saw the hitch in the jump shot when he took it.
Don't normally want to guard at the free throw line, but Nunn just 57% on the season at the stripe. Fights off the curtain of distraction and hits the first one.
Referee explaining to him right there, he got his hand on the top of the wrist. That was enough to draw the whistle.
2 for 2 for Nunn.
Boy, in a game like this, that is huge. Arizona State had it down to a 1-possession game. Baylor calm and cool under pressure.
Big time free throws for Jaden Nunn. He has just 6 points tonight. Those 3 massive. Still a lot of time. Feels like there's been 2 to 2.5 minutes forever.
Sun Devils in the bonus. Coach Hurley wants to draw up something that's going to be effective here. He's having a time with the officials.
I think he is a line or 2 away from getting teed up. He'll draw something up. 1:49 to play. There's been some serious fight for Arizona State, but whether they were to lose this game by 15 or 5 in the end, you got to find a way to win a Big 12 game at home.
You really do, and that's the key. The teams that win at home and try to go 500 on the road, that's going to be the teams in the top half of the conference. And we talk about it over and over, but it's just simply the truth. You have to defend your home court.
For Arizona State tonight, I mean, they have essentially been a 5-man rotation. Sandin's played 16 minutes off the bench, but and kind of sparingly for him. He's been looked at on the sideline at one point, and it actually looks like he has a boot on his left foot right now sitting on the bench. So that is extremely notable for Arizona State that their talented freshman looks to be out for the rest of the game. Mason too strong. Ojonwuna another board. They foul him immediately. And he'll go to the free throw line in the 1-and-1. 64% free throw shooter on the year. And there is not a complete boot, but a wrap on that left ankle for Josan Sannon, the extremely talented freshman for Arizona State. This free throw tipped up, pulled in by Jihad. They chase it down. Edgecombe almost had the steal. Freeman hopping inside, and a little hook shot falls.
Big time move by Freeman. Take the 2 and set your defense. It's a 2-possession game. Tons of time left. And there's a travel.
Wow,
by the freshman. Doing a little too much too fast. Edgecombe catching the ball in traffic. Baylor doing things now they haven't done all game. Turnovers against this pressure.
Yeah, they've been under control all night long. That's a big one, though. Arizona State needs to capitalize with 1:15 to play. Freeman, short on the 3, bouncing around. Mason has the rebound, and he's going to go to the line for 2.
You know, Chucky, all throughout the game, it's been Baylor getting to the loose balls, the 50-50 balls, the offensive rebounds. But in the last 5 minutes, the Sun Devils have all the energy. They're getting to these balls, getting these offensive rebounds. You're talking about Mason. He's the point guard out there. And somehow he ends up with the ball in his hands. And, boy, that's a ticky-tack foul. Big fella went straight up. And in crunch time, they're going to call it.
Mason misses the first free throw shooter. He was 4 for 4 at the stripe tonight.
Boy, Baylor hands you a gift. They miss the free throws at one end, then they turn it over. You've got to win at the free throw line.
Arizona State is 14 of 21 there as a team. They get 15 of 22.
Well, we're back to a 1-possession game. Who would have thought the Sun Devils would be here?
Pass was tipped. Jihad at the head of this full court press. Maybe the biggest possession of the night for Baylor. 10 to shoot. Jeremy Roach with the ball. Off the screen from Edgecombe. Roach driving outside for the freshman. Edgecombe rattles out. And Arizona State, it's a miscommunication between Jihad and Quaintance, and that is a gift for Baylor.
Outstanding defense for the entire possession. The ball does everything but go in, and right there, off the knee of Jihad, and that's going to be Baylor ball. Sun Devils so close. Baylor's going to get the opportunity to work another 20 seconds off of the game clock.
Does it change how you play this at all, or are you still playing this out?
Absolutely not. You're going to play this out.
Quaintance almost took it away.
You're going to play this out. You've come all this way, down 15, 16 points in the second half. It's a one-possession game. At this point, you're going to trust that if you get a stop, you'll have a chance. Great set here for Baylor. 1-4 low. You don't risk a turnover. You're going to get a shot.
4 seconds. Roach driving, spinning. 2 seconds. Roach might have slid. Nunn fires it. It's a shot clock violation first.
Boy, take your pick. You had Roach on the travel or the shot clock violation. Arizona State, 2 defensive possessions that they play flawlessly have earned them a chance to tie this game. Gonna watch Roach putting in work. Great help by the freshman. Right there, the stumble. They didn't call that, but couldn't get the shot off in time. 2 great defensive possessions, but for Baylor, they got to run the clock down.
And probably taking a look at the clock right now to make sure the time is correct. 16.9 3-point game. Is this a 3 for you, or can you get a quick 2 if you go downhill?
If you get a quick 2, then it's the free throw parade. You got to foul because you're down 1, and you're hoping that you get a missed free throw. I think right now, given the momentum, just go for the 3. Call something, little misdirection, back screen, stagger, something that gets you a good look. If you miss it, then obviously you have to foul. But I say why not go for the home run? Try to tie it up on this possession.
They're going to add 1.9 seconds to the clock. It'll be 18.8 left in the game.
And Chucky, basketball 101, if you're Baylor, you don't foul the shooter. Communicate on your switches and get the defensive rebound. A lot of times people ball watch and you open yourself up to those putbacks, and sometimes those putbacks are for and one. So Baylor has to continue to play solid defense, communicate, and they want to make sure they come up with this rebound.
Arizona State trailed by as many as 15. Mason going downhill, off the glass and good. It's a 1-point game, 10.5 to play. Timeout, Bobby Hurley.
Great decision for Arizona State to get the quick 2. The pressure now shifts to Baylor, but Mason, who's missed a few of these tonight, up over the big fella off the glass, and that'd have been good either way with the goaltend, but beautiful finger roll by Mason. Great ball placement, and the Sun Devils down just 1, 10 seconds remaining.
How quickly here? Is there a chance to trap, or is this pretty much your auto fouling?
You got to foul right away. You don't want to try to waste any time on a trap because he's got up to 5 seconds to pass the ball. That's half of what's remaining in the game. So go for that initial steal. But what you really want is you want a deflection on the initial pass. If you can get a deflection there, it opens up the game. But if the ball gets inbounded to the corner, make your foul, put the pressure on Baylor to make free throws. And then you'll have one last attempt to try to tie this up. But if you're Baylor, you got to make sure the ball comes into your guys that can knock down free throws. And you're the man with the numbers, so I know you can tell me, who is that for Baylor?
Well, Jeremy Roach is their best free throw shooter at 75%. They don't have anybody over 80% that is playing tonight. Jalen Celestine, who's out with an injury, missing his 3rd straight game, is 10 for 10 on the season. Won't do him any good right here.
Arizona State, same rules apply. Switch everything, stay in front, and deny.
Nunn inbounding, and it is to Roach. They bump him and attempting to trap, they end up fouling. The clock ticked another second or two too long, so we'll have to fix that. And Jeremy Roach going to the free throw line. At the least, Arizona State will have a chance to tie this. Roach in his 5th year of college hoops. They're checking the clock.
Have out there, and no matter what, you're going to have a chance to tie at least.
The clock is at 7.3. Roach at the free throw line. Still just the 1-and-1. Arizona State has a timeout. Crowd going crazy. Roach gets the first.
Now, if for some reason this free throw's missed, a foul is just as good. Big free throw right here. Change of strategy depending on what happens.
And missed it. Jihad has it. Here comes Arizona State. Miller downhill, floats it up. He got it! Adam Miller ties it with 1.9. Timeout Baylor.
That sound you hear is Baylor leaving the door open. The missed free throw from the Bears. Arizona State taking full advantage. The three-point shooter with the presence of mind to not take the three and take the runner because it's just as good. And the Sun Devils are 2 seconds away from possibly forcing overtime. A heads-up play by Miller to do what needed to be done. Not the glamorous three for the win, the floater, and that was a tough shot on the run, one leg.
That's the lefty going right, too.
The lefty going right with a defender who you know is not going to lay a hand on you because you're in the bonus. Very, very smart play by Miller down the stretch. And Baylor, anemic offense over the final 4 minutes of this game. They have not connected on much over the stretch. They got the foul on the three-pointer, got to the free throw line. Free throws have been their only friend down the stretch, but they still have enough time to turn and shoot. And we'll see if the Bears can create some magic of their own.
Almost 5 minutes without a field goal for Baylor. They will need it here for the walk-off winner in Tempe.
And a foul here is just as good as a bucket. If you're Baylor, get it in the scoring position somehow. If you're Arizona State, contest, but do not foul shooters.
Jihad guarding the inbounder. Edgecombe is that inbounder. The long ball. Omier turns, and it's going to be short. Overtime in Tempe. And Arizona State controls the tip here in overtime. Freeman inside, rims off, tipped right back out to him. New shot clock. Freeman back to work and misses again.
Two good looks right there from the Sun Devils, and everybody knows the rules in overtime. Extremely tight whistle, but you got to be very strong with the ball.
Here's Edgecombe, who hasn't scored since the 15:48 mark in this second half. Kicks it out, Roach, pull up, hits it. Big shot from Jeremy Roach.
Big shot right there. And you talk about the freshman Edgecombe. This is uncharted waters. As great as he is, he's still a freshman. This is his first game in this building. Overtime conference game. Gonna walk out of here a different player with a lot more experience.
Mason against Omier. Here's Quaintance. Ducking underneath Ojanwuna and can't get it to go. They've missed a couple point-blank shots in the overtime period.
Couple of good looks right there for the Sun Devils. Couldn't get them to drop, but it's been their defense that's anchored them down the stretch. And see if they can continue to defend.
Back to Omier. Miller doubling. Omier skips it across. 6 to shoot for none, and just kills it on the back of the rim.
Outstanding ball movement by the Bears. playing out of the double team, knocking down the shots they need to knock down. And it's the Sun Devils who you feel like really need a basket on this trip.
4-point lead for Baylor, 2 minutes into overtime.
Big time mismatch in the paint.
They didn't get it to Quaintance. Mason's three is no good. Goes out of bounds and stays at this end. Now you said it, Quaintance had a great matchup against Roach.
And it's been all night. Baylor's done an outstanding job of switching everything and then still defending the mismatch.
Miller likes the three and rattles out.
Well, the Sun Devil offense looking great, just not getting the results.
Would be equally as heartbreaking for Arizona State after the comeback as it would be uplifting for Baylor to withstand that and win in overtime. Omier, great move, too strong on the layup, but guess who? Ojanwuna again.
Baylor so mentally tough here to start this overtime.
12 points, 17 rebounds for Ojanwuna. He's 6 for 6 from the field. Hurley wants a timeout to talk to his team down 6.
Good timeout right there by Coach Bobby Hurley. He knows how important these final 2 minutes are going to be.
Ten to shoot for Freeman. Little hesitation, layup inside, and another point-blank miss in this extra period.
The shots have been there for Arizona State. They did all the heavy lifting to get to overtime, and it just seems like not getting the good bounce offensively on some of these shots.
Have to have a stop here. 90 seconds to play. Omier, pump fake, driving, jump stop, contact, lays it in.
Inside the circle, that is going to be a no call, and the Bears keep stacking buckets on buckets here in overtime as the Sun Devils can't seem to find the hoop.
Mason finally takes the lid off in overtime.
2-possession game.
Freeman fouling Jeremy Roach. 2 free throws coming up for Roach.
Great move right there. Watch the body control. Defender wasn't set, so it's a no call, but Omier with a nice move and a solid bucket. He's been big for Baylor here in the second half.
That's 5 on Freeman. His night is done, season high. 22 points for B.J. Freeman, the senior from Selma, North Carolina. Roach gets the first. He had the free throws with a chance to make it a 3-point game toward the end of regulation. Missed the last one, and that's when Miller went the distance to tie it. Short on the second again. Here is Miller. Still a 7-point lead. Miller to the hoop, erased by Omier.
Boy, what else can you say about the game that he's turned in tonight? Just an enforcer in the paint, big buckets. That's real leadership.
Miller almost picked the pocket of none, and this is physical on the floor right now.
10-second violation. Ball's going to go to the Sun Devils. Great hustle by Miller. That's just individual effort to get the ball back for the Sun Devils.
Mason, well, he just lost it on the way up there. Splits the defense. Jihad hits the long three. So not quite done as they cut it to 4.
Well, now you're talking about exchanging threes for free throws, and the question is, can you get Baylor, or will Baylor leave the door open at the free throw line, and can Arizona State somehow grab this time to determine the game? So it never really is about the final plays. So in a game like this, you replay the whole game, think about every opportunity.
Really 2 games for Arizona State in their last 2 that just haven't been complete. The first half at Kansas, tremendous. The back half of the second half here against Baylor has been really good for them. Inbound to Edgecombe. Decent time ticking off the clock right now, and they fouled Jaden Nunn. Nunn 3 for 3 at the line tonight. Gets the first. Jaden Nunn, the lone returning starter for Scott Drew and Baylor this year, has improved his three-point shooting every year of his college career, shows the work he's put in the offseason, and hits both free throws to push the lead back to 6. Mason going baseline, a lot of time coming off, and a turnover, and Baylor is going to escape Tempe with a win. An impressive win, short-handed, basically a 7-man rotation, missing 2 key players, and they improved to 3-1 in the Big 12.
A gritty win for